What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be extremely long, most likely cut up into two parts because I am doing so much to the RCF. Before I even continue on that, just reminding myself, my hood is finally arriving this week on Wednesday, and then I'm shipping it right out to Chile because I sold it to somebody because I got frustrated waiting for it. I did get another one from a different company I'm working with, and he's making me a custom forged carbon hood instead of the carbon fiber one. Same exact thing, it's gonna be a replica, and he's gonna mix in a little bit of what I'm doing today into that hood. So let me get into explaining what's going on today. Today I'm gutting basically everything on the car. I got a list written up right here of all the things that I'm gonna take off this car. It is so many different items. I'm taking off all the plastic inside the engine bay. I'm taking off the front lip, the side skirts, the rear diffuser, the wing that I just installed, the engine grille, the fender duct, the interior trim, this blue carbon fiber, the plastic, all the gray plastic inside, the door handles, around the AC vents, around these AC vents, the start button, the pedal shifters, the center console, the rear console, just basically every piece of trim or plastic on the car. And I'm taking all this off for one reason, to hydro dip it into something different that hasn't been seen before. I'm working with a guy down in LA who I saw some of his work and it was insane. So I got his contact info, reached out to him, saw if he could do what I want. And he said, let's make it happen. Send me a couple samples, loved them. So now, finally sending everything out to him. I should have it all back in like 3 weeks, right in time for Spocom up in San Francisco. What we're doing is a forged carbon look with a blue underlay to match the blue interior and all the other blue specs on the car. And I'm hoping it's something that hasn't been seen before. I looked all over, I haven't seen anybody who's done anything like this. I've seen people try and do different types of forged carbon. I mean, even this forged carbon wrap that I had is a different look than actual forged carbon. And it all comes out looking bad. It doesn't turn out right. So this is an actual forged carbon look. He showed me some of the samples. It came out perfect. It looks like real forged carbon. And he added a little blue candy spray under it. Looks amazing. I'm gonna love it. I hope you guys love it just as much. So I've got my little station set up behind me. I got this table to put all the items that I take off the car onto here, and I've got all my tools set up, all my wrench sockets, my drills, heat gun to take off the wraps on some of the pieces I've already wrapped, and all my pry bars. So should be everything I need. Let's get started on this because it's gonna take a long time to finish. I'm gonna start off with some of the more easier pieces to make it feel like we're actually making progress faster, and before I get to all the interior destruction in there that I have to take apart. So let's just get the simple stuff out, like this little engine cover. That's getting dipped. This is all getting dipped, and this is pretty easy to take out. Just pop every single one of them, and then we pull it right out. This was being held in by a shared clip. Now that I got the top one off, this one just pulls right out. Actually, it was being held in by these white clips right here, if I can get it to focus. So you just slide it out. So let me show you guys on this one. Just slide it right out and pops out from under these brackets. I'm also dipping all these covers, which some of them I've cracked in the previous times that I've worked on this car. Like this one. So these covers have to go. I think there's 3 or 4 of them. I went inside and grabbed a whole box of Ziploc bags so I can label everything because we're starting to get to the screws and bolts already, and I want to make sure that I don't mix anything back up because I kind of have the habit of doing that. So today we're going to be super organized and we're going to use Ziploc bags. All right, so I've gotten the first one done. I got all the surrounding trim out, got the covers to all the fuse boxes out, even up here to the relay fuse. I'm going to take out these bars as well right here, the engine harness bars. And that should be all the easy stuff now. And now we got to get onto the hard things, like taking off this entire grill or this entire bumper just to get to the grill trim and just to get to these fender ducts right here. Usually for the front bumper, there's some bolts or nuts in front of the tire inside the wheel well. But I'm gonna start off with the top, get all these bolts around the headlights and all the clips and everything out of here, all around the edge. And if it doesn't pop right out after that, I'll check back there and let you guys know. Okay, so good news is you don't have to remove the headlights. There would usually be a 10mm bolt / screw. You can use either one right here in front of the wheel. But since I am wide-bodied and I cut that out, it's no longer there. So all that's left is underneath the car. There's a bunch of 10mm bolts. You'll see them. I think they're covered right now by my front lip. You can't see the 10mm bolts under here because they're all covered by my front lip, but they would be right there. There's about 8 of them. wherever you see these little slots right there, there'll be a bolt. I got the flash right on it. So it's about 8 of them under there. You'll find them all. And once you do that, after you have that all removed, just grab right here from the edge and you just yank it off and it'll slowly start to come off. And there you have it, boys. RCF with no front bumper. There she is. I should have filmed the pull because it was kind of intense. You just, seriously, you just yank the whole thing out because there's no clips or nothing. It's just these little tiny divots in here that hold it on, 3 of them. So you seriously just yank the whole thing out. This looks so scary seeing the car like this though. But I'm finally happy that I got these ducts exposed and the radiator exposed because I'm gonna hit a vacuum in there and get up all the dust and rocks and everything that's in there. Okay, so now that I got the bumper up here on the table, there's 3 things that I gotta get out of here. I gotta get the 2 fender ducts, or whatever you wanna call them, which is easy. You just probably push all these tabs open right here all around the edge. And I gotta get this mesh grill out, which I'm hoping is the same with a lot more clips. It looks like there's some screws involved too, but hopefully it's that simple, just all the screws. So there is another tab I didn't mention right here on the top behind the weather strip. Just gotta push that with a little flathead screwdriver towards you, and then push all the other clips inwards or outwards that way, and it will all pop out right away. I've already gotten a couple of them a little loose right here, so super simple. Turns out that's not how you're supposed to remove it from the top. Just to warn you guys, I cracked a couple of them, like 2 or 3 trying to do it. And then I turned around and started doing it from the bottom and worked my way up and found out that this right here goes into the back through here, and you're just supposed to use this tab and push up and pull it out. So I cracked a couple of the little brackets right here, these things, but still fine. It'll still hold when I put it back in, so we're all good. Now that I've gotten all that all taken care of, I put it over there, the little trim. It's on the couch so it doesn't mess up because it's kind of starting to crack. Anybody who ever wants to remove this, warning, just be extremely careful. These things are really flimsy and cheap. Like, this is already starting to break off a little bit and I didn't even mess with it. This kind of cracked a little bit, barely even messed with it. This wasn't even part of this assembly. It's part of the actual bumper assembly where it screws into, which I didn't mess up on anything on that one. So I don't know how long that piece has been loose because I barely even messed with that part. It was just a screw that I took off real quick and nothing went wrong there. It's starting to get really hot and humid in here. It's about 100 degrees outside, so I'm baking up here in the garage. So I'm gonna start taking off a couple more pieces, the side skirts, probably the rear diffuser, and then the wing, and call it a day for today, and leave the interior for tomorrow's video. The diffuser might actually take me quite a while to take off because when I put it on, I didn't make a video on that because it was literally an hour before I was supposed to head out to Riverside or San Bernardino to get the bags installed. So I installed it real quick and didn't have time to make a video, but it takes a while to take off, maybe about an hour or 2, so we'll call it a night after that. Boom, got the side skirts off. Now it's time to move to the rear diffuser, and then the wing is pretty easy to take off, just 2 bolts right here, and it'll pop right off because we're only doing the actual wing, not the brackets. So time to pop open the trunk, get to the rear diffuser and dismantle the whole thing. And to do that, I have to take off the rear bumper as well to get to all the bolts that are securing it. All right, boys, so the rear bumper is a little similar to the front bumper. You just gotta take a couple bolts off, a couple clips off, and then you just yank it right out. I'll show you guys when I yank the whole bumper off so you guys can see how intense it really is. You just seriously just pull the whole thing, hear everything cracking, kind of scares you, but that's how you're supposed to do it. So I got the whole body kit off. I did it on the other side as well, just so I can have access to everything and be able to work around any of the bolts I need to get out behind the wheels. I'm also going to take off the other ones while the car is parked here, just because I want to paint the bolts on all of them to a bronze color, see if I can get it to match the wheels. So the main bolts you need to get is right here, and on the other side there's a plastic cover that you just pop off with a flathead screwdriver. There's a 10mm bolt right there, you pull it out. I got this plastic cover and everything else out just because I'm jumping ahead. You don't even need to do that right now, but you can, because this plastic cover is kind of attached to the weather strip. That comes out with just 3 clips. You could use your pry tool, whatever you want, or a flathead. One right here, one in the middle, one right here, and then you yank it right out. All right, boys, I'm really starting to wind down, run out of energy. You can tell I'm looking drained right now, but got the bumper off so I can finally start taking it off. There is 2 screws right here and 2 screws on the other side that you're supposed to take off from under, but I did that while I was still in the car because I knew I was gonna have it on the table. So from the back side, there is only a couple screws, one right here, a couple small ones up here, and then the other one right there. I also have some 3M tape going along the bottom on each side, and if I remember correctly, I have a couple small strips around here on the top. I don't know for sure, but I'll see when I try yanking it off. So pretty simple, just small little Phillips head screws. Just gotta take them off real quick and you're done. Woo! I got it off. That 3M tape did not want to give away. It was a lot of pulling. It was actually here on the top part. I was aiming right here when I was showing you guys. It was up here. And it did go all the way across. It was not a small strip. But even the side ones did not want to let go. It took a lot of pulling and trying not to bend or break the actual bumper. But we got it. Everything's pulled off. There's some fragile parts that I might go get some bubble tape and wrap them up in. But other than that, day 1 is complete. We got everything off. Day is done. I'm burnt. I'm ready to call it a day. I've been at it for like, I think 5 or 6 hours. Took a couple breaks in between to eat and stuff. But I can come back tomorrow and finish the rest of the stuff and strip out the interior, which is gonna be a lot more crazier, a lot more smaller parts, and you're gonna see a lot of wiring. We gotta do the center console, the dashboard, the doors, everything inside is basically getting gutted. Even the rear seats to get to the console back there. Stay tuned for that one tomorrow, and I'll see you guys next time.